Hey everybody, this is Craig. I'm a realtor here in Central Florida with Oak Strand Realty Group. And what I'm going to talk to you today is about a lease option program that I work with. I work with three of them with the Home Partners of America, Divvy Homes, and Dream America. But I'm going to just do one just short video on Home Partners of America. The requirements are very similar between the three different programs. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen out right now. We can get started. And okay, you should see my screen. And there's several parts of this, but I'm going to go over real briefly the requirements from start to finish here. And usually there's like a qualification questionnaire that applicants would need to check off just to pre-screen themselves to see if they're actually eligible for the lease option program. So let's go down the list here. And as you can see, they do credit and background screening generically on the family, the entire household. All members over 18 years of old will be subject to a credit and background check. And it's not exhaustive, and additional factors may be considered. So question one says, does your household make a minimum gross income of $40,000 per year? And that's the whole income, that's the whole earning potential of the entire income of the household. Question two, does any household members have any open or unsatisfied Chapter 7 bankruptcies? Chapter 3, has any household member that will contribute to monthly rent had any in order of eviction granted against him within the last 5 years or filed against him within the last 12 months. And any household member that has at least an order of eviction within the last 5 years will not have their income included. Question number 4, does any household member that will contribute to monthly rent have an unsatisfied residential rental collection exceeding $250 that originated within the last 3 years? And then question 5, are you or any household member on any OFAC sanctions list, including the specially designated nationals and block persons list, or a registered sex offender or sexual predator or otherwise subject to reporting requirements of any state, territorial, or tribal sex offender registry? And then question 6, has any household member had a felony conviction within the last 6 years? So these are just the initial questions. And now let's go into the whole process from start to finish. And this is the entire guide. It covers how it works, the application process, property search, purchase process, lease information, right to purchase prices, pathlight property management, move-in day expectations, purchase and lease options, moving out. And then you have a frequently asked questions, which is covered in this guide. Who is Home Partners? How does the lease option program work? Who is eligible? How do I apply? What are the income requirements? How do I find a qualifying property? What are the lease terms? What are repairs done to the property before move-in? Who takes care of the property after move-in? Who am I responsible for as a resident? What happens if I do not renew my lease? And then, of course, you got the two companies here, they're partners. And you got the parent company's Home Partners of America, and they do all the processing and the purchasing. And they take ownership of the home, and they lease it to you, the grantor of the household leasing the property. And they facilitate your right to purchase the home as well later on down the road. And then Pathlight prepares a home for move-in. They do all the inspection, all all the tasks that are relevant to getting the home ready to move in and close on it. And they also collect the rent and handle all the maintenance requests. So they're the other party. And who chooses? Why choose Home Partners or for that matter, any other lease option company? And unlike anything else that's available, it's kind of like to help out people that can't right now obtain a mortgage. And this helps people get into a home, even if they aren't ready to purchase that right now. So this is what they are able to do for you, and then they give you the ability to purchase the home, or you can lease it for up to 5 years. And so I operate in the Florida area, Central Florida, so they allow up to 5 years on the lease. Like any time during that lease, you can purchase a home. Monthly rent and right to purchase. After closing, the Pathway Property Management becomes your point of contact. They handle the monthly rent and utility payments, so on. Of course, when you exercise your right to purchase, they take care of that as well. But anyway, this is how it works. You have a complete, you fill out the pre-op qualification questionnaire, submit the full application for approval, find a home. Move down here, close this one here. Find a home that's for sale that you love. Three, they buy the home and they lease it to you. Four, you have the option to purchase when you're ready. And then, how do you determine if you're a good fit to the program? Basically, you're looking to live in a single-family home or a fee simple townhome in one of the Home Partners of America approved communities. Of course, me being the agent, I would work with you, and I do all that pre-screening ahead of time to determine if the home is eligible. If you have an annual household income of at least $40,000, and of course you have proof of income, the documentation, you have a minimum of 45 days from date of application to move in. Criteria is subject to change. The number of applicants per household may be restricted by applicable law, and they are a cat and dog friendly company. Households are allowed a maximum number of 3 pets, weighing less than 180 pounds in total combined weight. And they allow all breeds. Of course, some may be restricted by the local regulations of an HOA, homeowners association. Livestock and farm animals are not allowed. That includes venomous snakes and verminous pets. Pet rent and fees vary by state. Both service and assistance animals are excluded from our pet policy requirements. So you have a service dog, that's exempt. But of course, you have to provide the supporting dog that's required. Lease option purchase program. A traditional rent to own, you get the lease option purchase. You choose a home that's listed for sale to lease. There's at least a 1-year lease commitment. Standard rent deposit. I give you time to, you build your credit and so on. That eventually you can get a mortgage, either a conventional or FHA type mortgage, maybe in a VA or the Department of Agricultural type loan, USDA is what they call them. Rent price and purchase price transparency, ability to rent the home for up to 5 years. But again, after the 1 year, you can purchase the home at any time. There's no obligation to purchase. You don't have to purchase a home. If you want to move out of it and find another home, that's perfectly okay. The program in Texas is 3 years. The initial deposit may vary, but they're not the lender, so they would have to determine. That's based on usually the price of the home for the down payment. Usually it's 1 to 2%. So you have the free portion of the application. They ask you 6 questions to help you determine kind of like pre-vet you for the program. Then you have the full application. And then there's, of course, the application fee. And then you have to provide required documents of proof of income for the household so they can determine your debt to income. And then ultimately if you're qualified, then what you ultimately are able to afford, the lease. I went over these questions earlier. And more income verification, 45% for household weighted FICO under 620. That can be down to 550 or 560 is what I heard. And you have to prove income verification documents upon request. So of course, you have traditional income. You have self-contract employment. That'd be 1099. And so they would want the most recent tax returns and two most recent personal or business bank statements. At least 2 months in the state to which you are relocated. You had to be operating at least 2 months residence in the state, or be a resident of the state for 2 months. Child support and alimony, that would be mandated child support, not voluntary. Military, 2 most recent pay stubs. Investment, rental income, they'll consider that. Annuity, retirement, pension, that can be 401. Trust accounts can be considered. If you're approved, they give you a maximum. They will then give you the maximum rent amount, which your household qualifies for. And then you can go out and browse for homes, then put in your offers or your requests to lease a particular property. So the property search is pretty straightforward. Usually if somebody puts in a request for a home, then it's checked to determine whether or not that home is in an approved area for the lease option company to buy. And not all areas are approved. They keep adding to that list over time, but just make sure you check with the agent. In that case, it could be me to verify that the property is in the approved area and it is within your budget price point as well. So I would submit the property, and then once it passes review, and then if accepted, you can sign a 1-year lease, write the purchase agreement, and then monthly rent, right to purchase prices are provided for up to 5 years. And if, of course, the seller rejects the offer, you and your agent will return to the home search and will continue looking to find another home. Timeline to closing, the average time for property submission to move in is typically 5 to 6 weeks. Home inspection, 10 to 15 days. Renovation checklist. Offer submission. Then you have the closing day and the move-in day. And the Pathlight, the partner with Home Partners, is the point of contact to facilitate the move-in process. And then your household would receive the move-in information from Pathlight in the lockbox code in the morning of the move-in day. And then, of course, the lease option information. This is more additional information. You would have to have a security deposit, rent certainty. You would have to provide. Typically, they're looking for 1 to 2% initial down payment. I know Divvy Homes does that. They request that. Dream America is similar to that as well. Then they'll break down the total cost of purchase down the road, what the closing costs and then the moving ready and other costs will be. And they seek to exercise your right to purchase anytime during the lease, as long as the home partners are given a 60-day notice before the desired closing day. And usually the price does go up over time. The rest of this information is more relevant to the property itself. So I'm going to go ahead and jump to the property guide. It was there earlier, but and this is they cover the criteria for homes that they will buy in approved markets, price caps. That depends on the market. In the Orlando market right now, you're looking at probably 450,000. In Tampa, it's 550. For the maximum price cap on the purchase of the lease option, purchase of a home, and then of course the lease option will follow it. But it determines, and this is I can help you with because I usually do a lot of the research on where to buy the home, what type of homes we already know what they will buy, and what condition the home needs to be in. and what renovations can be requested, and what are the maintenance expectations after move-in. Oh, here we go. Purchase price in the Florida market. Let me just scroll down here. In Orlando, which is the primary market I work in, is $450,000. That's the maximum price they'll buy up to. And then, of course, in Jacksonville, it's $500,000, and then Tampa, that's $550,000, a little bit more. And that's all the markets. And then once we start the search, any property that you might like, you being the leaseor, the one who wants to lease a property, then we have to determine if it's in an approved area. If it is, then we can make an offer, or I would contact the home partners and put in a request, or submit the home for their review. In the course of it passes the review process, and then we would go ahead and make the offer to the seller. If the seller approves it, then we'd move forward with all the paperwork. And this is pretty important right here. As far as property types and conditions, what they will not buy, they will not buy condominiums or under condominium ownership if they're within a close proximity to structures that could impair value, including industrial buildings, high traffic roads, railroads, or airport runways, have dirt driveways, no short sales or foreclosures or probate properties, bank-owned property sold at auction or by a government agency like HUD. If the seller is Zillow, OfferPad, Open Door, or a relocation company they won't buy from. Commercial, modular log cabins, mixed use, or manufactured housing properties have in most cases a converted garage or a guest house in-law suite in a separate building, have solar panels that are leased, not fully owned, that cannot be removed prior to closing. Situations may be considered on a case-by-case basis, depending on the discretion of home partners and the regulations of the specific area. So it's actually important to go through this. It's not very long, the list, but it gives you an idea of what they won't buy. And then, of course, in addition, as you go on here, they will not consider homes that apply to any of the following criteria. The house is over 100 years old, have more than 6 bedrooms. That's more than 5 in Florida. On more than 2 acres of land, have incomplete rehab projects or structures in disrepair, environmental hazards, have seepage or subject to flooding, have a history of sinkholes or near sinkholes, unpermitted rehab work or liens, open permits, buried oil tanks, propane tanks, lacked central air, are furnished or not empty of the seller's belongings, have above ground or indoor pools, have tax rates including special service area community development district, fees greater than 4% of the property value. And that goes on. And again, I can send you all these documents actually are available on the Home Partners of America site. So that's pretty much it. The important part is the pre-application and getting through the application process, so you can actually get vetted to then go out and look for a home. Stop sharing here, and then once you get through that process, then your agent can find those homes, pre-vet them for you, to make sure they're in an approved area that Home Partners would buy in. And then if you like the home, me being the rep, representing your interest, then we put that offer submitted into Home Partners, and they'll review it. And if everything looks good, then we'll move forward with the process of taking care of the initial purchase, with the seller and all the paperwork. So anyway, if you have any questions, I can be reached Monday through Sunday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. at 407-314-8919. And I look forward to helping you in the future. And like I said, if you have any questions whatsoever on any of the lease option programs that I work, in addition to Home Partners of America, and they would include Divvy Homes and Dream America, feel free to ask, and I will do my best to answer those questions. And if I don't have an immediate answer, I will research it and find out for you and get back to you and let you know, have that answer to your question. But take care and enjoy the rest of your week. Bye for now.